last time the Southeast Gassers invaded Killcare Raceway in Xena, Ohio. A green track and rain didn't deter some awesome gasser action. At Killcare Raceway, Jerry Dean continued his domination in Superstock. In C-Gas, Todd Oden has set up shop and moved into the winner's circle again. In B-Gas, Daniel Haynes took the victory over Ken Rainwater, and in A-Gas, Quayne Stott rolled to an exciting victory. So sit back, relax, it's time to enjoy some gasser action. Let's go. Welcome back, I'm your host Mike Narks. This week, the Southeast Gassers bring their show to Knoxville, Tennessee for the Mahle Motorsports Nationals. It's a perfect marriage. Knoxville Dragway is a chameleon. It started life in 1963 as a dirt track, later converted to a figure 8 racetrack, and finally in 1984 became an 8-mile drag strip. It's arguably one of the most unique stops on the Gasser schedule. As always, holding it down in the booth is David Lancaster, giving us a call for round 1 of Superstock.
All right, first matchup we got right here going to be the street legal of Kenny Phillips, the number 3 qualifier, and Kim Haynes, the number 10 qualifier, going to go at it here in the first pair out in Superstock. Number 3, number 10, first pair out right here, going to be in Superstock. Kenny Phillips going to take this one in a big-time hole-shot victory.
Felt good.
Yeah?
It was a good run.
About that first round.
I'm lucky to get through it. It's been a long time coming.
How many times have you raced here before?
My second time here.
Second time.
Second
so what do you
time.
think of the track?
I love this track. It's coming around, so we're doing good right now.
All right, second pair out right here is going to find Brian Dalton and Zach Long, the number 8 qualifier. Dalton from nearby Sevierville, Tennessee. Bryant Dalton in the Little Falcon, so big versus little, all on that 7-inch tire right here. Let's see if it makes a big difference. Zach Long gets a little bit of a whole shot advantage. Bryant Dalton having to reel that car in as he goes down the racetrack, but he takes the win right there, does Bryant Dalton.
How's it going?
It's going good.
How does it feel out there?
The car's a little squirrely, I don't know mine today, but the track feels really good.
What have you been dealing with mostly this week?
Pretty much they just loosened the track for my car, because it's Superstocks is hard, but these little bitty 6-inch tires on it, it's hard, or 6-inch wheels with 8-inch tires. It's pretty rough for me to drive this thing. So I have to drive it more than most people do.
Really?
Yeah.
You got a bigger wheelbase than most.
Well, it's not the wheelbase ain't what it is. It's just I've got a 6-inch wheel with an 8-inch tire on it, and it bows the center of my wheels up, or my tires up, and I don't have the traction like they do on those. Yeah.
Well, see you next round.
I hope so. I hope I win the next round, but one I'm going up against, it's going to be tough.
Third pair out right here that finds the number 4 qualifier, Eddie Willis, in the gift over there in the mortgage options right lane. He's going to be taking on the number 9 qualifier in Don Wilmot, who finds himself in the quick time performance left lane. Wilmot with a big hole shot advantage right there. Let's see if he can carry it on through to the end. And he cannot. Eddie Willis going to take the victory right here. And that was a big comeback win for Willis. He had to use that top end horsepower to come around Wilmot, and he will get Kenny Phillips in the next round.
Tell me, how did it go out there?
Well, I finally won one.
What has been your biggest challenge?
Well, getting this thing to hook up. We don't know for sure what in the world happened, but we've had a horrible time getting it to hook up. Finally, it's doing fair. He got me out of the tree, but I've managed to get around him. I think I just got lucky, to tell you the truth.
Tell tell me, the one thing I really want to know out of, once you start, excuse me, once you start spending the money, why Superstock?
That was the only thing we could afford.
Okay. No.
But we're finding out that this is not a poor man's game. I don't care what you get into.
All right, Randy Kiefer. Kiefer is going to be over there in the mortgage options lane on the right side. We're going to be racing Mickey Huddleston, number 11 qualifier Huddleston, in the quick time performance lane. 406 cubic inch Butler performance motor underneath the hood for Randy Kiefer out of Cookeville, Tennessee, in the car that he likes to call the Spine Tingler. Kiefer in an absolute walkover right here. He leads start to finish. So Kiefer will move on to the next round where he'll get Bryant Dalton Sr.
Man, just it's been a struggle all day. We've done everything from basketball the tires to blow the clutch out. So we're just keep fighting. So
the weather's changed a lot today.
it is, and
cooler.
this track they have got it on point. So you got to really we've been into the clutch box every time. So that just tells you we're really working on it. So
No doubt.
yeah, we're just looking forward to getting to another round.
Alan Lovelady going to be in the quick time performance lane. He's out of Alabama. He's the number 6 qualifier. The number 7 qualifier is going to be Ricky Jones here out of Knoxville in the Crimson and Clover. Beautiful race car. Both of these cars are both 67 Camaros. Remember, 67 is the cutoff year per Southeast Gasser rules. Good race right here. Who's it going to be at the stripe? Lovelady takes the win. So Alan Lovelady gets a round win right here, putting Ricky Jones in some troubled situation.
First round win's always good. It's only my second of the year, so I'm excited.
Only second of the year?
Yes, sir.
So what's been your big struggle with the car?
I've got a little motor. I'm down on horsepower. My primary motor I hurt before the season, and I hadn't got it back together yet.
Gotcha. So what are you looking to do next round besides win?
I got to run Jerry Dean. He's tough and always, and I'm getting to know his taillights too often.
Well, there's a reason they call it racing and not winning, right?
That's right. That's right.
Number 1 qualifier, Jerry Dean. He's going to have a bye run right here by virtue of that number 1 qualifying position here today. So Jerry Dean going to take his time, it looks like, do everything in a nice, orderly fashion. He's got a routine that he goes by, and it's worked for him so far this year as he is undefeated in rounds this year and has taken home the cup in every race we've had in Superstock.
You, sir, are becoming a routine sight around here.
Oh, man. I hope it continues. Oh, man.
Is this kind of like golf? It's that one perfect shot that's what keeps you coming back?
Right, yeah. You know, you're always striving to do better at this, and you try stuff, and sometimes you hit it, and sometimes you don't. It's like anything else, and when you don't, you usually mess up. So we went good the first qualifying run, and we've messed up the rest of the day, but we hope to get it back where it was. And a lot of good competitors here today, a lot of fast cars here, so it'll be interesting.
I don't think people realize how hard it is to be consistent.
Hey, with these tires we have to run, it is very hard to make back-to-back runs and be the same, because it's all the track or the clutch. I mean, it's always something, and it's just very difficult to do, but that's what you have to do is learn, you know.
Well, we'll figure out something else to complain about when you win.
There you go. We'll find something.
Here's your results for round 1 of Superstock. No surprises here. We'll see if Jerry Dean can keep his winning streak alive. Okay, let's ratchet up the competition. Here's round 1 of SEGA.
All right, first pair out, that's going to find Ernie Smith in the Saturday night special. The number 7 qualifier taking on the number 12 qualifier in Robbie Walden in a son of Strychnine. Robbie Walden, 3rd generation driver in that 61 Bel Air, the son of Strychnine, finds himself in the quick time performance lane. Ernie Smith opting for having lane choice and opting for the right-hand lane over there. So Ernie Smith gets to the line first, but something falls off his car. I don't know what it might be, but it's in the right-hand lane.
It does feel good to get a first round win. You know, we struggled with it a little last night. I think we're getting our combination put together here. Wings, etc. Ace's High Tattoo, you know, Woodford and Towing Hot Rod. We started to get her together, I think. Now if we can just get past the second round, put a few together, we really need to make a good run this weekend.
I don't think people realize how hard it is to be consistent in these cars.
It's very difficult. I mean, you got a lot going on in here trying to come off a line lock, clutch this thing, drive a stick car with old junk 60 suspension that goes left, goes right, and you know, if it goes straight, it surprises you every now and then. But we got the old hot rod working. Brian Harris put in a lot of work on this thing. You know, a lot of people have helped me out, and we're going to the next round.
Next pair up going to be Scott Wallace in that Indian Express. He'll be part of the second pair out. The number 9 qualifier, Ron Allison in Poppy's Toy. He'll be in the quick time performance lane, and Scott Wallace, he's going to be in the Indian Outlaw. He's the number 10 qualifier, so the number 9 versus number 10. Scott Wallace start to finish right there as he tacks it on the hole shot and makes it happen for him. So Scott Wallace going to move on to round number 2.
How does that feel?
It felt great. It felt great. I've not looked at the time slip, but it felt like probably our best pass.
Really?
Of the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, these things are a handful to drive.
They can be. This one really drives pretty good. It's got the longer wheelbase. It's pretty stable.
Yeah, but it's just the consistency, right? Because it's shift points and all of that.
That's a big part.
So, but today you're just in the zone. You're feeling it.
You know, we're getting better as the day goes on.
Next pair up, that's going to be Ben Shaw in the odd rod over there in the mortgage options lane on the right side. Shaw, the number 6 qualifier here today, going to be taking on Dan Hogan out of the Loganville, Georgia area in the flat out Falcon with the Jimmy Huff horsepower right here. He's the number 13 qualifier. Ben Shaw with an absolute great reaction time right there as he puts Dan Hogan out early right there in that race. So Ben Shaw going to move on to round number 2 in the odd rod.
Yeah, the car's been as fast as it's ever been. So, I mean, it's gotten faster every pass. The air just got a little bit better. So, I mean, so far we really can't complain. So
the air's gotten a heck of a lot.
Yeah, in the last little bit now. So it's pretty good. So
we need to talk about, because it's been a minute since I've talked to you here with the win. Odd rod. Why odd rod?
Well, I mean, it didn't take much to realize it's a pretty odd truck. You know, it's a couple of pieces here and there, but so we kind of called it the odd rod, and now we've got a guy helping us, and his name is Odd White. So you know, it's really kind of been ordained, you know.
So because gasser racing wasn't hard enough, you had to get a truck.
Yeah, they're not notoriously great race cars, but you know, this one, the balance is great on it, you know, and my brother-in-law, he's got a Ranchero. It's basically a truck, and he's won championships with it, so it can be done.
Diana Casto absolutely torching those Mickey Thompsons right there as she gets ready in the 4th pair to take on Josh Pruitt. Casto, the number 11 qualifier. She's going to be taking on the number 8 qualifier in Josh Pruitt out of Inman, South Carolina. Diana Casto takes the win right there. That is a mini upset. Looks like Pruitt had trouble out there in 3rd gear and allowed Casto to come by. So Diana Casto moves on to round number 2.
It was, whew, God. I mean, I hate that I got it like I did, but I mean, that's part of it. That's racing. I've been racing against Josh first round for years. And I mean, you know, I guess it fell in my favor today.
Winning is winning.
Yes, so they say, but you know, I mean.
Well, we'll hopefully see you in the second round.
Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. I don't even know who I'd run now. I don't know.
So Alfred Adams, the number 3 qualifier, going to be in the 5th pair coming out right here. He's going to be taking on the number 16 qualifier, Jesse Beaver, in the Voodoo Child out of Hagerstown, Maryland. Adams going to be here in the Quick Time Performance lane, and Jesse Adams going to be over there in the Mortgage Options lane. Alfred Adams stays hot. The performance of that car is really on fire as he moves on to round number 2, where he's going to get Diana Casto in that second round.
It's great. It's feeling good, running good. Hope it keeps it up. I'm ready.
What's been the hardest thing this weekend for you?
Our first pass wasn't any good. Second pass is good. This pass a little off, but hopefully it'll come back around.
In the 6th pair out, we got the number 4 qualifier, Jaron Purdue, in the Stud Muffin, the 62 Chevy Nova wagon. He's going to be taking on Ben Helms in the number 15 slot. The pucker time there of Helms out of Waxhaw, North Carolina. Purdue out of the Ohio area just purchased this Stud Muffin car from Ricky Jones. That Stud Muffin has won 2 SEGA World Championships. Ben Helms' car goes to the left a little bit off the starting line, and that is all that Purdue needed as he went straight off the starting line and got a good launch, and unfortunately puts out Ben Helms right here today in first round.
This is my first round win in the Southeast Gassers. I switched from the Adams County Outlaw car to the Stud Muffin car. I always thought I had the ability to drive, I just didn't have the equipment to do it. So it feels really good to get in something that's competitive. And
what has been the hardest part about the switch?
Just starting over. I mean, you know, everything. This thing's got a good clutch, and getting all that stuff figured out, adjustments. We tested with it last night. That was my 5th pass in this car. I don't even know what I ran, but it's just a learning curve. I think I'll get there. It's just getting there.
Any reason you picked something that had the most possible steel to try to drag down the track?
Well, there's a few good reasons. I talked with Gene Fulton, and he built one of these cars back in the day years ago, and there were some reasons he done it and used this specific car, the way the wheelbase is and the offset of the rear percentage and things. There's some advantages to the old wagon, I think. I just got to get better as a driver.
All right, next pair up right here going to be Bill Wilson out of Gaffney, South Carolina. He is the number 5 qualifier. He's going to be taking on Ohio runner Tony Tagenhorst in the Wasted Wages. Going to try to knock off Bill Wilson with that Gene Fulton power. Bill Wilson takes the win right there. Tagenhorst got a little drop on him on the starting line, but Bill Wilson drove right back by him.
Yeah, we broke a transmission and we had to change the transmission between second round qualifying and first round. So we just lucky to make it to the next round and get to racing.
So you put in a transmission and you got the first round win.
Got the first round win, yeah. Wow. Having a good day.
Tasha McLemore out of Clinton, Tennessee in the Your Huckleberry 55 Chevy sits over in the Mortgage Options lane, and she's going to take on the number 2 qualifier, and that is Todd Oden in the 58 Delray. All right, Todd Oden out of Birmingham, Alabama with the one-way technology power underneath that big 58 Delray. You always know Oden's going to get a good launch if you see the rear end sit down nice and square on that car. And it does as Todd Oden leaves the line and is never looking back. And he moves on to round number 2, where he will have a scheduled bye run by virtue of being the number 2 qualifier. Tim Hall, the number 1 qualifier here today, and our two-time defending world champion. He is going to receive a bye in the first round by being that #1 qualifier.
That was a good run. We tried a little different setup because we had to buy, with an uneven number of cars, and so we tested a little bit, and tried to see what we can do on down the road. But it was the fastest run of the day. So,
what's the biggest decision in gambling on taking what you already know is working for you and decide let's try to push it a little bit?
Well, it's hard to do sometimes because your car's, #1 qualifier. You don't want to mess up. But then again, somebody else might try something and pick up and be faster. So you got to weigh it out. I don't take big risk on race day, but unless I have to. But if we're already #1, we still want to push and try to go a little faster because you never know how the other car's going to pick up. So.
Well, and with the conditions totally changed from this morning qualifying to now.
Yeah.
Probably down to 10 degrees, 15 degrees.
Yeah, the sun's in for sure, and it's cooler, and the track's a little different, and it does that every race. We start out at 1 o'clock, and by the time we're finished, it's 8 o'clock at night, and totally different conditions. So you gotta change.
I like to joke that if there's rain in the forecast, there's probably a gasser.
That seems to be the way it's been this year.
SEGA is as competitive as ever, and we're happy to see Alfred Adams in Damn It Bob, because it's fun to say Damn It Bob. Let's hear David call round 1 of B-Gas.
All right, as we head into B-Gas right here, first one around the corner, that is going to be the Dirt Man, Rick Varner, the #6 qualifier. He's going to be taking on Mark Jones in the Mini Quick 3. This is maiden voyage out here, first race he's ever run. Looks like Rick Varner came around him on the big end, but Varner going to move on to the next round.
Well, I'm doing pretty good. I like the numbers.
First round win.
I like the reaction time. We did pretty good.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Next up finds Michael Walters in the Papa's Wild Willis in the Quick Time Performance lane, taking on the #9 qualifier in Jimmy Huff in that Falcon over in the Mortgage Options lane. Jimmy Huff builds his own horsepower. He calls that car the Hoopty Coupe. He campaigned, as I said before, the Hoopty Wagon for many years, and so now he has come out with the Hoopty Coupe. And Michael Walters takes it to victory right there, so Michael Walters moves on to round #2.
First time the car really left good. Track's working great. As long as we get ahead of this rain, we'll be good to go.
Well, my joke is if there's rain in the forecast, there's probably a gasser.
No, it was a good run. Car felt good. Having a great time, man.
This is this is an original gasser car. This is original hot rod.
Yeah.
Original drag race car. Why this car out of any car you could have got?
Unique look, man. But these cars are the one that started the gasser gang anyway. You know what I'm saying?
It's like next 2 coming around the corner. Maybe Rod Bergner, the Iceman, going to be taking on Bill Revels in the Black Betty. The Black Betty, a 63 Comet out of Canton, North Carolina. Bergner, the #11 qualifier, so 8 versus 11 right here. Bergner, the 11 qualifier, going to be in the Quick Time Performance lane on the left-hand side. Pretty even on the start. Looks like Revels might have an advantage at mid-track, and Bill Revels is going to take the win right here and unfortunately put Rod Bergner out early.
That was pretty good. I hadn't even honestly looked at my time slip. Give me just a second and I'll tell you. It was average. It's good enough. We're going to do better the next one though.
All right, next pair up going to be Art Copeland over here in the Quick Time Performance lane in that beautiful Barracuda. He's going to be taking on the #7 qualifier in Charlie Lee. Charlie Lee out of Cookeville, Tennessee right there in that Mustang. It'll be a pretty good matchup right here. Charlie Lee on paper should win this, but you never know. That's why we don't race them on paper. Copeland moves toward the center line, and it looks like that little bit of a shake is all that Charlie Lee needed, as Charlie Lee gets to the stripe first. As next up, we got Ken Rainwater coming around the corner in the beautiful red Renegade. He's going to be taking on Kelvin Cannon, the number 15 qualifier here out of Elizabethton, Tennessee, in the loose Cannon. All right, a couple of good-looking red cars here on the line. Little Chevy 2 right there for Kimberly, Alabama racer Ken Rainwater. Rainwater with a huge hole shot advantage, and that's all it's going to take right there, as he's not looking back, as Rainwater takes a victory right here in round number 1.
That was a pretty good first round. We knew we had, everybody here is tough, and we didn't take Kelvin lightly, and we didn't want to shoot ourselves in the foot, so we kind of dialed it back a little bit, just get A to B and kind of get ready for Tennessee Charlie next round.
What's been the toughest thing this weekend here?
This track's really good, and it's kind of got us on the wheelie bars a little tough, and we got the front end tied down, and it's still pretty violent like it was there, but hard to say the racetrack's too good, but it's really good.
So Ted McKee is elected to go in the order right here and take his bye. So the Lenore City, Tennessee racer and number 1 qualifier here today in the Rocky Top Missile going to jump in here and take his bye run. Looks like he is going to run through the water box and make a full pass at it.
Oh, I had to buy then, and I think I can set the record right here today with that run I just run. So the record I think was a 63 with a 6, and that was a 60 with a 5. So that's almost in the 50s.
So everyone's been telling me the track's on kill.
The track, real good. The air moved in, it cooled off a little. The track's come around a lot, but the car's really performing now. It's back to its old self again.
All right, the 7th pair out right here is going to find Daniel Haynes, the number 5 qualifier. He'll be over in the mortgage auction side. He's going to be taking on Todd Rosenberry, the number 17 qualifier, who will be in the tower side. Mary Beth Haynes, wife of Daniel Haynes, bringing him up in that Patriot. Well, good thing for Daniel Haynes that Todd Rosenberry left too early, because Daniel didn't get a good launch. All right, number 3 qualifier Michael Oden right here in the double down 2, 62 Chevy 2. He's going to be taking on the Hillbilly Hoodlum of Greg Adams out of Winchester, Tennessee. Oden out of Birmingham, Alabama, the 21-year-old, making his first round of eliminations right here with the new race car. Adams took him off the starting line, but Michael Oden stayed under control, didn't panic, and was able to drive by him on the big end. So put him towards second round is Michael Oden. Mike Blackwell, the number 5 qualifier here today, and Jimmy Martin, the number 14 qualifier, as they get ready to come through the water box. And Mandy Blackwell going to help her father-in-law Mike back up that 1955 Thunderbird. So Martin in the mortgage auctions lane, Mike Blackwell in the quick time performance lane. Mike Blackwell with a good launch and a straight run right there. That race car really did not waver down the racetrack at all. And he makes a solid run into round number 2.
Round 1 went pretty good. I had a little bit of spin off the line. The car didn't get off the line the way it should have. So we got to take a look at that. I don't know if it's track, tire pressure, or what it was, but we had a little bit of a problem there.
Well, you didn't learn,
No.
It's cooled off so much. You didn't really learn anything earlier today, did you?
No. We both qualifying rounds was good for us. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if it's this weather or whatever. I don't really know what it was, but we'll figure it out.
Well, I mean, if this is bad, you'll keep taking the wins, right?
Oh, sir? Yes, sir. Yeah. Okay. You got to have a little luck to go with it.
What a round one of B-Gas. Here's how round two is shaping up. Okay, it's time for the fastest cars on the property. Here's round one of A-Gas.
All right, Jeffrey Ferguson going to be in the Quick Time Performance left lane right here in the Mississippi Missile, the 56 Chevy. So Ferguson in the Mississippi Missile, the number 14 qualifier, taking on Todd Blackwell out of Campobello, South Carolina. The number 4 qualifier. Should be a win right here for the Slingshot, but you never know what's going to happen here. We're right fresh out of a rain delay. But no problems at all for either car right there as they go straight down the racetrack. Good traction by both cars. And it looks like Todd Blackwell going to take the win there in the Slingshot.
Okay, so first one down the track after the rain. How was the track?
First one down the track. Well, you always got to be a little bit skeptical of it. It got enough wet, and but it seemed to do fine. My time wasn't where I wanted it to be. It was a little bit off of my qualifying rounds, but I think I spun a little bit off the line. But I think after we get finished with all the cars and get a little rubber laid down on it, it'll be good.
So Kenneth Phillips, the number 1 qualifier out of Campobello, South Carolina, going to be taking on the Bluntville, Tennessee racer, the number 16 qualifier, Zach Hall, in the homegrown 1955 Chevy. Cox Race engines underneath the hood for Zach Hall. Kenneth Phillips going with the Gene Fulton powered. Kenneth Phillips scrapes the wall. He is on the wall, folks, and Zach Hall trying to run him down. Kenneth Phillips still takes the win with his tire against the wall, brings it off the wall, and still gets the win.
That was pretty good.
How'd that track feel after the rain?
Well, it felt good. I hit the wall, but I still got back out and outrun him, so that's pretty good. Yeah, go over and look on that side.
Okay. You just tapped it, rubbed it.
I just rubbed it, yep.
Okay.
It come up high. I didn't think the track was going to be that good, but it is really good now after that rain. So, but.
How difficult with the rain and the fact that the temperature is way off when you guys were qualifying?
You would think it would throw the track way off, but it didn't. The track took him good. I was in the air in both gears, and first and second. And that's when it threw me to the wall, and I hit the wall. So.
That is going to be the number 7 qualifier in Stott, the 1948 Anglia, the car of choice for the Executioner 2. And he's going to be racing Barry Lynn out of Greer, South Carolina, the number 10 qualifier in the Little Red Wagon, which is a 1965 Chevy Chevelle 2-door wagon. Quayne Stott takes the win right there, and I'd be interested to see the Molly Motorsports finish line camera on that race right there, because that was a good one. Number 2 qualifier in Chase Howard, going to stay over there in the right-hand side in the mortgage options lane. Tony Turner, the number 15 qualifier, is going to be in the left-hand side in the Quick Time Performance lane in that 1939 Dodge that he campaigns called the Quick and Dirty, as they get ready to go at it right here in round number 1. Good leave right there. Chase Howard, no ill effects. He takes that number 2 qualifying position and moves on to round number 2, where he's going to get a rematch of the finals in Xenia, Ohio, as he gets Quayne Stott in the next round.
Man, it's a great day of racing after what happened to us in Ohio. We put this thing in the wall, got it home, got it fixed, and just bagged up our fastest ET ever with the car. Went number 2 qualifier. We're going to see if we can put this thing in a winner's circle and take that trophy back home to Greer.
Wait, so this thing is on kill after we had a rain delay, after the temperature shifted so much that your qualifying rounds don't mean anything here.
Absolutely.
And so what you're telling me is you really don't know what's going on with this thing. It's just doing its
Whatever we did to it on the frame machine, it loved. Car's working better than it ever has. Got to give huge props to my frame guy that helped me pull it back, Tim Sloan, Scotty Cannon for helping me get the car back together, make some changes, make it better. Brian Harris for putting the chassis back right, get me squared, set up, and my dad and my brother and my fiance for putting up with me so I can go racing.
Next up in the mortgage options lane, going to be the number 3 qualifier, Gabriel Burrell, in the Southern Flyer, the 1931 Ford Tudor. He's going to take on Doyle Lynn out of Dalton, Georgia, in the 51 Henry J called the Honky Tonk. Mountain Creek Harley Davidson, the sponsor for Doyle Lynn right there as he sits in the quick time performance lane on the left side. Good effort right there by Doyle Lynn, but that's not going to be enough to stop the Southern Flyer of Gabriel Burrell moving to the next round. Greg Stelz, the number 6 qualifier. He's going to be in the quick time performance lane on the left side and taking on Rob Walden, under the number 11 qualifier, in the 6 pair out. Walden going to be in the mortgage options side. Alexis Phillips helping out over there with Rob Walden. Rob Walden with a starting line advantage. Is that enough to take him to victory? It is, as he put Greg Stelz on the trailer right here in first round.
Yeah, that was close. We ran the exact same times. I was just looking. It looks like I just got him on the tree there. That's what happened. So we both ran identical. So it's my lucky day today. So
I was standing over here like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Looks like the track is
working good. Track's working. I had a good 60 foot. Everything was great. So hopefully we can go another round.
How difficult is it when you basically have to throw out everything you learned in qualifying because it's so much cooler and all that?
It changed it. The weather's different. We sat up there for an hour. It seemed like in the staging lanes. So, fell asleep in the car one time. It seemed like I got to get out and walk around so I can cut a light here.
Next up, the number 5 qualifier, Leslie Horn, is going to be over in the mortgage options lanes in that 55 Chevy, the Chick Magnet. He's going to take on the number 12 qualifier, Marlon Short, in the quick time performance lane. Just such a cool look at that short tipper little Ford coming out of the water box right there. So here we go. We're getting ready for Leslie Horn, the 5 qualifier, versus the 12 in Marlon Short right here. Horn's car gets out there to about the 400-foot mark and it starts moving toward the center line, but he still moves on to the win, and Marlon Short will live to fight another day.
Well, in the second round of qualifying, Ray, I broke a transmission. I left out, car left good, looked good. I was on a good pass, and when I went to third, I didn't have no third there. We got back, we made a mad rush. Well, first of all, the car got down here to the end. I went to push it, I jumped out of the car and pushed it, and I pulled something in my calf. I thought I pulled Achilles or whatever you call it, but had somebody come help me work on it a little bit, put some ice on it, rubbed it out, and I'm able to walk on it now, and everything's good. But we borrowed the transmission. Here we go again, borrowing from people. Borrowed the transmission from Chase, put it in there, a little different gear ratio. We're gonna make the best out of it. I don't know what it run, I ain't looked yet, but it felt pretty strong. It's really making good power on top end, so I think we'll be okay. Just on to the next round.
How many times have we seen this matchup right here? The 8 versus the 9 qualifier, or the Ben Christopher matchup with Dean Jonas. These guys are absolutely great friends, but I promise you the friendship is over right now as they come out of the water box. Ben Christopher here in the quick time performance lane in the Happy Days 66 Chevy 2. Dean Jonas with a little bit of a starting line advantage. Can he carry that through to the end? He can. A reaction time of 0.15 by Dean Jonas on the tree.
was a good pass. It was probably I hadn't looked, but that was the best pass of the day for me. It felt good, left the starting line good. It was a perfect run down the strip.
You know, it's funny that a lot of people are saying that even after we had the rain delay, even after the temperature has come down so much, the track conditions are totally different than when you qualified.
They are, and they done a wonderful job re-prepping the track. I mean, it is good. It's very good.
At the end of round one, A-Gas put on a drag racing clinic. Even though the clock isn't on at the track, these cars run in the low fives. Before we move into round two of the Mahle Motorsports Nationals, I want to take a moment and invite you to an event. From the loud paint, to the loud pipes, to the backup girls, everyone in your family will have a great time. To see an event that is located near you, please visit southeastgassers.com. We appreciate you watching this Powertube TV presentation. Now, David, send us into round two of Superstock.
All right, hometown man Brian Dalton Sr. right here out of Sevierville, Tennessee, and that Falcon going to choose the Mortgage Options right-hand lane. Randy Kiefer, the number 2 qualifier here today, is going to be in the quick-time performance lane in his Pontiac Chieftain right here. It's got that big 409 Butler in it. Kiefer comes back and drives around him on the big end and moves on into the semifinals, where he will receive a bye by virtue of the car count that we have here in this class today.
We like that. Yeah, we like that a lot. That's we might have something for him.
How different was the track before the rain till now?
As good or better. These guys are awesome. Wes and his team just do a great job, and no, it was the same or better. So I'll take that.
Did you make any changes?
Just keep taking clutch out of it. We're fighting some rear end stuff, some spring issues, so that's the only thing we can really do. So
Eddie Willis in the 67 Camaro, the gift that he calls it. That car has one-way technology's power underneath the hood. Kenny Phillips in the street legal right here, going to be in the quick time performance lane on the Tower side. So a good little matchup right here as they get ready to see who's going to make it to the semifinals here. Eddie Willis stands it up. Something happens. Looks like Willis just goes out there and loses power. You see the car nose over about half track. And Kenny Phillips going to take the win in the street legal right there.
How different was this round compared to before the rain?
Just a faster round for me. Just a better ET for me.
Okay.
Faster speed, so we're picking up some.
Did you do much to the car?
They ain't touched it. Wiped rain off of it.
Alan Lovelady in the underdog out of Hayden, Alabama. Going to be here in the quick time performance left lane. He's going to be racing Jerry Dean, the man, the number 1 qualifier, a man who's got a potential new record for ET coming if he can back it up. Jerry Dean has been the killer this year. He has won every race, so that means he is undefeated in round racing. Without a mechanical failure, Dean takes the win right there, and Jerry Dean continues his onslaught in this Superstock category.
The track's real good today. The rain didn't seem to hurt it real bad, and we're having a little clutch problem, but we're hoping to overcome it. And but that run was pretty good. It really was.
You know, I'm scared to think what this car would do if everything worked on it.
You know, the very first qualifying run, we lowered the record, and but we haven't backed it up. Probably don't plan to, but anyway, save it for another time or whatever. But the car runs. It's just getting the clutch and them tires to work together. That's the thing, and we got a pretty good handle on it, but we still ain't where we want to be, you know. But we're thankful for, you know, the one-way technologies and G-Force. They do a lot for us, and I know everybody does, but I think I got the best crew in the business, you know, and we're just having a good time.
Here's your results for round 2 in Superstock. Jerry Dean continues to show he is the man to beat on the property. SEGA is on deck.
Bill Wilson out of Gaffney, South Carolina in the 49 Studebaker, the under new management troublemaker. He's going to be taking on Ben Shaw in the odd rod out of Lebanon, Tennessee. Great matchup coming up. Couple of trucks. Oh, we got a drag race here, folks. And Bill Wilson takes the win. They're still neck and neck, so good drag race right there.
All right, one more round to go. I think we got Tim Hall next round. Will be a pretty tough run, but maybe we can outrun him and go to the finals and leave here with that big trophy.
You earned this last one.
Yeah, that was pretty close. That was pretty fun running the truck. Yeah.
Todd Oden going to take his bye run right here, and no doubt he's going to take it to where he is going to try for lane choices. He's in the water box right now.
Hey, it's going great today. We had a little bit of a setback. We had a rear end gear breakage, and we got that fixed and come back and made our bye run and just ran the best time that we ran all weekend. So hoping to keep that lane choice. I love that left lane.
You know, it is crazy with as schizophrenic as the weather is, the rain, the temperatures come down, and everyone's having the best passes they've had.
Right. It's amazing at how fast these cars will go and how much the weather affects. I mean, even the carbureted cars, much less the fuel injected cars, but the carbureted cars even a little, just a few degrees difference. You know, it really makes a big change.
Diana Casto in the quick draw. She's that Falcon over in the mortgage options lane on the right side. She'll be taking on Alfred Adams out of Clover, South Carolina in the 55 Chevy. Alfred Adams lets the clutch out a little too soon and rolls the beam, and red is dead in any type of drag racing.
Okay, well, we had a discussion with Alfred. I owed him for our first round elimination at Brainerd because we were up against each other, and I had went picture perfect, textbook, burnout, stage, all that, and my MSD wire pulled out and I was dead in the water. So this, oh my God. Do I have a bye for next round? That's what they just announced I had a bye for, oh, woo, boy and man, this just keeps getting better.
All right, Scott Wallace there in that 52 Pontiac, the Indian Express, going to be in the quick time performance lane. Having a big chore on his hand right here as he's trying to take out the #1 qualifier here today at Knoxville Dragway and our two-time defending world champion, Tim Hall, in our C-Gas category. Something happened with Tim Hall right there, not a customary leave for Hall, and he gets eliminated right here in this round. Scott Wallace will move on, and Tim Hall has been eliminated here today.
The day, it's we struggled last night. We worked on the car till midnight, had clutch trouble, shifter fork trouble, put it together this morning. Been getting better by the round. I don't know what the time was on that one, but it felt good.
Today's been so schizophrenic, it's really just experience that's rolling people through, right?
I guess so. I don't have a lot of that, but yeah. we've had some good passes.
Yeah, and I guess the track is even better now after the rain.
It felt fine to me. That's all I know. Felt good.
Jaron Purdue right there in the Stud Muffin, the 62 Chevy 2 wagon. He'll be over in the mortgage options lane, and Ernie Smith out of Spartanburg, South Carolina, in the Saturday night special, the 66 Chevy 2 4-door will be in the quick time performance lane right here on the left side. So Jaron Purdue takes the win right there over Ernie Smith. Another good drag race, neck and neck down there at the line.
Who would have thought?
Man, you know what? I have no idea, man, but it feels really good. Like I said, you know, before, I've never even won a first round in the Southeast Gassers, and this is a super, super tough field. To be able to come out here and run with these guys, man, it is really awesome. I love it.
How crazy is it to be so consistent on this inconsistent day?
Well, I don't know. I haven't looked at the ticket yet, but I don't know. I ran a pretty good pass that pass. It was a pretty good one. Man, that one's right up there with the rest of these guys. So I'm running Todd Oden next round. So got to be a little better than I was on the light this time.
What do you think the secret to beating Todd's going to be?
Man, I don't really know. I think cutting a good light is key. If I could get this thing to hook up, man, it would help a bunch. But it's still spinning a little bit, but the track's better than it was earlier. So I'm just going to have to give it what I've got and go for it.
Who would expect the track to be better after the rain?
Well, the sun went down a little bit. I think that helped get the heat off the track some, is my opinion, I guess. I mean, but I made a few adjustments. Again, don't really know what I'm doing with this car. This is my, what was that, this fifth, sixth pass I've made in it so far now. So I don't know, it feels good. We're still in it. We're going to go for it.
Todd moves on with focus. David, let's see round 2 of B-Gas.
As we get the cars fired around the corner, that's going to be Mike Blackwell out of Campobella, South Carolina in that 1955 Thunderbird. He calls it the Thunderstruck. He's going to take on Rick Varner out of Kannapolis, North Carolina in that 55 Chevy, the Dirt Man right there. Good lead by both drivers. This is a hell of a drag race right here, boys. None other than the Dirt Man, Rick Varner, nudges him out at the line down there. That was a good drag race. As we get deeper into these races, they're going to get better and better. Bill Revels out of Canton, North Carolina in the 1963 Comet. The Black Betty will be over in the mortgage options lane. And as you heard before, Michael Oden in the double down 2 going to be here in the quick time performance lane out of Birmingham, Alabama. We are in round number 2 trying to get to 3 right here is these two combatants. And Michael Oden going another round here today, taking this new race car and really pointing it in the right direction.
Well, there was nothing I could have done better in that one. It went perfect as it could. Didn't have any problems with the car, hadn't had to fight it all day. It's been straight as an arrow and it just does what I need it to.
You know, it's crazy to me that since the rain, everyone is talking about how great the track is.
It is awesome. It gripped up like you would never believe. You would think it would be the opposite with the rain, but it's still just as grippy as it was, maybe even more.
All right here we got the number 1 qualifier, Ted McKee, in the Rocky Top Missile. He's going to be in the quick time performance left lane right here. He's going to be racing Michael Walters out of Rayford, North Carolina in Papa's Wild Willis. A beautiful race car that sits over in the mortgage options lane as he gets ready to try to go to the 3rd round. Ted McKee starting to finish right there in that race, so he moves on to another round of racing.
Car's really consistent. We set the record.
You did?
Yeah, we got the record. So.
Congratulations.
Yes, sir. Car's really performing well.
Did you have any idea when you woke up Friday morning to come out here you're going to put the record?
No, I have to give a lot of credit to Blake Housley, the one that done all the work to the car. He lives in Kansas. We take videos. He tells us what to do. So he's really sharp.
All right, Daniel Haynes in that Falcon right there, the Patriot, going to make a run right here for a lapse time to try to get lane choice in the next round of racing.
We had a bye. We was trying out the left lane and it didn't go bad. Wasn't the best passes today, but it didn't go bad. It went straight. We're good.
You know, it's interesting. Everyone's been saying since the rain, the track is even better.
And it may be. It may be a little shock setting or something. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
Last pair here in B gas, going to be Charlie Lee. He'll be over here in the quick time performance lane in that Mustang. He'll be taking on Ken Rainwater out of Kimberly, Alabama in the Renegade that sits over in the mortgage options lane. Charlie Lee taking the win right there, putting Ken Rainwater on the trailer. Another close race.
Here's your B-Gas results, and I'm sure Todd is proud of his son, Michael Oden, for going rounds. And just like that, we move on up to A-Gas.
Gabriel Burrow going to be over there in the mortgage options lane in the Southern Flyer. Gabriel Burrow trying to set a record or back up a record run that he had a little bit earlier for lapse time. So he's getting a chance to do that against Rob Walden right here in a 33 Willys. So a couple of 30 models right here, a 31 Ford Tudor for Gabriel Burrow out of Columbus, North Carolina. Man, look at him get down that racetrack. Gabriel Burrow gets down through there and lifts the car up in first and second, third gear as well. He gets to the stripe first and he'll move on.
It got by it. It wasn't what we were looking for, obviously, performance-wise. Track's green, we're first pass down. Slightly to be expected, but that fought me the whole way down, but we got there first, so that's all that really matters.
That's always all that matters, right?
Yep.
Any changes for next round?
Yeah, I'll play with the shocks a little bit and see what we got next round, hopefully.
Kenneth Phillips talked about how in second gear that car moved hard to the right. He kissed the wall, and he stayed in that lane again as he has liked it all day in the right lane. Dean Jonas over in the left. Mary Beth Haynes bringing back Dean Jonas, trying to get him straight in the beams. Definitely be a feather in Dean Jonas's cap as he's able to knock off the #1 qualifier here today, and that Fulton horsepower underneath the hood there for Kenneth Phillips. Dean turns on the red light, so this race is over already, as Kenneth Phillips is going to move on to the next round. But Dean Jonas knew that he had a chance to take out the #1 guy, but he knew he had to be on it. As we got the next pair coming around the corner in our A-Gas category. The #2 qualifier here today, Chase Howard out of Greer, South Carolina in the 67 Chevelle USA 1 car. He'll be over in the mortgage options side. And his opponent will be the man that beat him in the finals at Xenia, Ohio, at Killcare Dragway. That is Quayne Stott in the Executioner 2, the 48 Anglia. Chase Howard takes the win right there over Quayne Stott, but a good little starting line duel right there. Quayne Stott doing everything he can to pull out a win. Next pair right here, Leslie Horn over in the mortgage options lane in the Chick Magnet, the 1955 Chevy out of Boiling Springs, South Carolina, with that G Fulton power underneath the hood, 477 cubic inches for him. Mandy Blackwell going to bring her husband Todd Blackwell back to the beams in the Slingshot, the 65 Chevy Nova. Big matchup right here. Whoever wins this matchup going to get Kenneth Phillips in one round of the semifinals. Whoa, Todd Blackwell moves toward the center line. He has to get out of it, and Leslie Horn takes the win right there from Blackwell.
Well, Ray, that's old car's running good. We changed that transmission like I told you in the earlier round. Not really a gearing that I've used before. The old car seems to be liking it pretty good. The air seems to be getting a little better. They got the track, Wes and his crew here at Knoxville Dragway. They done a great job getting the track prepared for us to get in through there. A little worried, going down on a green track, but they done a great job, and that was the fastest cars on the property. Just went down through there with no problems. So that's hands off to Wes and his crew here at Knoxville, and we're gonna get this thing in. And Ray, I hope to be talking to you again here in just a minute. See you, buddy.
Let's see round 3 of SEGAS.
All right, big time matchup right here as Jerry Perdue is going to be taking on the Double X of Todd Oden, a car that's been running real well as we move on into the quarterfinals right here. Going to decide who goes to the semis in this matchup. Perdue out of Ohio, went down to Alabama and bought the stud muffin. He's taking on Todd Oden, the man who's won the last 2 races in a row. Terry Purdue turns on the red light as he knew he was up against Todd Oden, so Todd Oden's win light comes on and he takes the win right there, moves on into these semifinals as Purdue turns on the red light.
All right, and we meet again. I'm so thrilled to be here, I'm telling you. This old big girl, it felt like the first time she'd ever been down the track. I love this car, and that's a tough car we just beat. That stud muffin car is sure enough fast, and it's got a good driver, so I'm just proud to be making rounds. Let's just move on to the next one and get them.
You guys had all the seasons, right?
Yeah, it's I'm telling you that today's weather has been a little bit of everything, but I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to be driving this old big Double A's car. I love this car.
Diana Casto having a bye run right here in this round of competition. So by Southeast Gasser rules, all she has to do is take the green and she can save her car and the performance. So it looks like she may just be electing to take the green.
So any big changes?
No, none.
No?
None. I am just going to run my race. I believe I'm against Todd. We've met before.
That's worked for you.
Yeah,
right?
we've met before, and the last time we met, it was really close. I owe him. So I'm gonna be coming in guns a-blazing.
Well, just doing your thing is totally works for you.
Oh yeah, I'm having a blast. Even that pass, you know, I mean, it's not often I get to just drive the car. You know, I race the car, I beat the car, I just drive the car. It was very, very enjoyable.
All right, the 52 Pontiac of Scott Wallace, the Indian Express, sits over in the Mortgage Options right-hand side. And Bill Wilson out of Gaffney, South Carolina, in the Troublemaker Studebaker truck, sits in the Quick Time Performance lane. Gonna be a pretty good matchup right here with Gene Foot power under the hood for the Troublemaker. Wallace has really stepped up the performance in that Indian Express in the past year or so. Bill Wilson marches on. That was a good run right there for him as he got a little bit of an advantage on the tree right here, and he drove it through the other end and made it work for him.
Going to the finals. We got to buy next round, so we're in the finals.
Okay.
We love some Knoxville.
There's no big changes, right?
No, sir. We just need to outrun probably Odom. Load him up, and we'll get that trophy and go back home.
Here are your results for semifinals in SEGAS. Worth pointing out is Diana Casto in the quick draw car, living up to the car's name. She can cut a light and is definitely one to watch in the semifinals. David, they've been waiting in the staging lanes. Let's see round 3 of BGAS.
All right, Daniel Haynes in that Patriot right there out of Holly Springs, South Carolina. He is going to be in the Quick Time Performance lane, backed up by his wife, Mary Beth, one of the top runners here in our BGAS category, winner of our last race at Xenia, Ohio. We're going to take on Charlie Lee in the Mortgage Options lane over there in that 65 Mustang. Charlie Lee turns the red light on, so Daniel Haynes gets another round win by virtue of the red light. And it's awful cool to see Daniel Haynes have those taillights on and burning as he goes down the racetrack.
That was a little out of the groove, but it was a better number than the last one. Not bad. I don't know why it's not one to drive in the groove, but it's fast-ish.
The car's working.
It's fast enough.
Yeah. The car's working is making you earn it, right?
It is making me work a little bit today. And we got some new stuff going on. We're growing pains a little bit.
Big matchup right here coming up. Rick Varner in that 55 Chevy, the Dirt Man. He'll be over in the Mortgage Options lane. And Ted McKee out of Lenore City, Tennessee, pilot of the Rocky Top Missile right here. He's the #1 qualifier and a man that is on a mission here today at Knoxville Dragway. Ted McKee marches on with another round victory right there over Rick Varner. Varner going to be put on the trailer in a very close race.
And not one has been like the last, has it?
No, no.
I mean, it's been a whole season in a day.
Yep, every bit of it. Yes, yes, it has.
And this car has just stepped up.
Yep, it's been on the rail today.
Yeah?
Yep.
You haven't had to mess with it too much.
No, no. We struggled with it. You know, I hit the wall at Brainerd, and fuel pump went out in Ohio right there on the starting line. We struggled, but it's coming around now.
So Michael Oden going to be the man coming up next right here and making a buy run. Making a night run here in his Chevy 2.
Here's your BGAS results, and it looks like Michael Oden could be marching to his first win of the season. Before we drop into the semifinals at the Molly Motorsport Nationals in Knoxville Dragway, I asked Greg, the driver and owner of the Joker, to talk about the importance of showing up and accumulating points.
Our point systems for SEGA. So basically, you get 10 points for showing up at the event. You get 5 points for every qualifying pass. So your first round qualifying, you get 5 points. Your second round qualifying, you get another 5 points. Then when it comes to elimination rounds, your first round, you win, you get 5 points. If you lose, you don't get them 5 points. So every round that you go, you get another 5 points. Very critical. Every point is very tough. I do like the point system, the way they run it. But it's very tough to just get through rounds.
Thank you, Greg. And for the record, Greg tows that car all the way from Wisconsin to come down here and compete for these events. That kind of dedication is the cornerstone of the Southeast Gasser culture. These racers tow anywhere, put work on hold just to come down and compete. Are you ready for the semifinals in Superstock? I am. Let's go.
All right, here we go with Superstock semifinals right here. Jerry Dean, number 1 qualifier, going to be over there in the mortgage options lane on the right side. And Kenny Phillips right here in the street legal. He'll be in the quick time performance lane on the left side. Winner of this one going to go to the finals where they'll face Randy Kiefer. Kiefer going to come up next and make a pass. Jerry Dean doing a little wall riding right there. He didn't touch the wall, but boy, he was out there in that gray a little bit. But he still took the win right there over Kenny Phillips.
Another good run. Car worked pretty good, left pretty good. And we're tickled to death. We got a tough run in the final, which will be Randy Kiefer, and he's always a bad dude. And we'll have to be on our A game if we can run with him, because he's tough and a good friend of mine, real good friend. And so we'll see what happens.
So he'll move on to the finals where he'll get the man coming up around the corner in the Spine Tingler. That is none other than Randy Kiefer from Crossville, Tennessee. I think he knew that he spun a little bit on the starting line and aborted that run at half tracks.
We're having a good day.
Going to the semis.
Yeah, going to the finals.
Finals, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's good. Just, you know, we just keep working on it. Tried to do a little 60 foot that time just to see what we had, but I don't know if I got anything for Jerry. He is just really, really tough. Great competitor. We love racing each other. I just like to beat him every now and then.
Okay, well,
but we're happy we're going to the final.
What a great round of Superstock. We see a final that we've witnessed before, Jerry Dean versus Randy Kiefer. It's going to be a good one. Let's take a look at the SEGAS semis.
All right, SEGAS semifinalists coming around the corner right now. There's Diana Casto in the quick draw Falcon. They're going to be up against the Double X of Todd Oden out of Birmingham, Alabama, that 1958 Delray. One-way technology horsepower underneath the hood for him. He'll be in the quick time performance lane, and Casto will be over in the mortgage options lane on the right side. Todd Oden beat on the line just a little bit. He's going to have to try to run her down, and he does so. So Todd Oden in the Double X on the quick time performance lane will advance to the finals here tonight. Billy Wilson clawed and fought his way through and earned a bye here So he is going to take the mortgage options lane right here. Let's see if he, looks like he has rolled through the water box, and he's going to take it easy on this Gene Fulton power plant that he has underneath the hood of this 49 Studebaker. Just take the tree and the green right here and move on to the finals.
So the SEGA Showdown will be Troublemaker, piloted by Billy Wilson, and Double X by Todd Oden. David, show us the B-Gas semis.
And then there were 3 in B-Gas. Michael Oden out of Birmingham, Alabama. You just saw his dad, Todd, go to the finals in C-Gas. Michael here in B-Gas going to try to knock off Daniel Haynes, and that is going to be no small order. Looks like Michael Oden got a little bit out of the groove there in 3rd gear, so he thinks better of it and gets out of it. Daniel Haynes motors on to the victory right there. Looks like McKee won't roll through the water box himself, just going to take the green and go back to his trailer, and that's just what he does. So McKee will be taking on Daniel Haynes in the finals right here. The Patriot and the Rocky Top Missile getting ready to get it on for the finals in B-Gas.
Todd McKee in the Rocky Top Missile will square up against Daniel Haynes in the Patriot for your B-Gas finals. If you've been to a Southeast Gassers event, you'll hear A-Gas referred to as kings of the sport. Let's see how they fare in this closely contested semifinal matchup.
Absolutely monster matchups right here. Chase Howard and Gabriel Burrow going to get it on in the first pair of semifinalists here in A-Gas, and then Kenneth Phillips and Leslie Horn going to get it on in the second pair. So if there are 4 giants in A-Gas, you got them right here in these semifinal matchups. Chase Howard with a starting line advantage. Oh, Gabriel Burrow gets over toward the center line, and he does lift right there, and Chase Howard takes the win. I'm telling you something, folks, these cars are not easy to drive, and these are the quickest cars we've got. All right, a couple of Gene Fulton power plants right here on the line coming up. The small block application for Kenneth Phillips, the #1 qualifier here today in the 58 Corvette, the Silver Streak 2 out of Campobello, South Carolina. He's going to be racing Leslie Horn in the Chick Magnet. The 55 Chevy right there in the mortgage options lane. A Fulton motor going to go to the finals either way. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be the #1 qualifier or the #5 qualifier? Goodness gracious, what a race. The Chick Magnet of Leslie Horn pulls it out on the big end. .011, the margin of victory right there.
Let's get the final round started with Superstock.
All right, Jerry Dean going to take that mortgage options right-hand side over there where he has been pretty much all day besides his other qualifying run. And Randy Keeper going to be here in the spine team where he'll be in the quick time performance lane in that Pontiac Chieftain right there. The 55 Pontiac Chieftain wagon. 406 cubic inches of Butler performance underneath the hood for him. 331 cubic inches of small block Chevy in there for Jerry Dean. Both cars on that spec 7-inch tire. Jerry Dean with a whole shot advantage right there, and I think that's going to be all he needs. Jerry Dean powers on to another victory as he stays perfect on the season here in 2024.
It should come as no surprise that Jerry Dean found himself in the winner's circle for the 4th time in as many events. Can anyone beat this man? Let's throw it to David for the SEGAS finals.
All right, Todd Oden going to be over there in the right side in the mortgage options lane in the 58 Delray. One Weight Technologies underneath the hood for him in the Oden & Son 58 Delray Double X. Billy Wilson out of Gaffney, South Carolina, going to be here in the 49 Studebaker once again with the Gene Fulton power underneath the hood for him. Bill Wilson right there paying close attention, trying to get right in his tracks he laid down, and he is ready to go Todd Oden trying to win 3 in a row right here today in that double X. Starting line advantage for Bill Wilson. Is that enough to take the win? Bill Wilson takes the win, so Billy Wilson gets the win there and puts the troublemaker into victory lane in Knoxville, Tennessee.
I did tell you I was going to see you up here in the finals.
So tell me about today. How'd it go?
The day's been really good. We tore transmission out second round qualifying, but the truck's been really fast. We got it back together, and me and the crew and everybody and got it going pretty good.
Okay, so you glossed over the transmission. Where did that come from? Was it borrow up from somebody, bring another one with you?
We had a spare with us that's really not set up for a rear end, but it seemed to work pretty good. My son said, we don't know if it'll work or not, but we'll try it because that's the only chance we have.
It seemed to work.
It seemed to work real good.
What was the hardest part besides the transmission? What was kind of the hardest thing to deal with today?
Probably the rain, the delays.
Yeah.
Seemed like it may be good for us. So.
I mean, we had literally every season today, right?
Yeah, it's been hot and humid and then rain and dried up. Seemed to be doing pretty good.
Well, I will never bet against you.
Thank you.
Billy Wilson beat Todd Oden by 0.02 of a second. It doesn't get any closer than that. BGAS Finals happening now for the Mahle Motorsport Nationals.
Coming up this time is going to be a big matchup right here. This one may prove to be one of the best of the night in our BGAS category. Daniel Haynes in the mortgage options lane on the right side. Going to be taking on Ted McKee, the Lenore City, Tennessee racer in the Rocky Top Missile, who is in the quick time performance lane. Dwayne Bush race engines underneath the hood there for the Patriot of Daniel Haynes. Ted McKee over here with the Gene Fulton Power underneath the hood, as he has been the #1 qualifier here today. Daniel Haynes turns on the red light, so Ted McKee is going to win here at Knoxville, Tennessee at his home track. Red is dead in any type of drag racing, but Daniel Haynes knew that he needed to push it on the tree a little bit.
Yeah, done good. Done good. The car, the rear end is out of the car. Tore the rear gear out of it.
You did?
Yeah.
Tell me about that last pass.
Last pass, it spun a little bit, and I was a little bit shy of that gear because the by run into the finals, the rear end was coming out of it, and that's why I eased it through. But I wasn't going to let it stop it. It was still hanging on. Done good.
Isn't it amazing that no matter what's kind of going on with the car, when it's time to win,
it's time to win. Yeah. Yeah. We worked hard. Got a good crew.
Tell me who are they?
Bo Hughes, Josh Hughes, Jim Hare, Billy McKee, just Blake Housley tuning it, telling us what to do. He does a good job. So.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
The BGAS Finals shows mental toughness is as important as having a great car. I'm sure Daniel Haynes would love to line up again since that red light cost him the race. Let's get into our AGAS Finals and see how it goes between Chase Howard and Leslie Horn. Keep in mind, Leslie Horn's chick magnet has really struggled with some mechanical issues this year.
And now the time has come for the kings of the sport, the A-Gassers. The chick magnet of Leslie Horn going to be taking on Chase Howard in the USA 1. Chase Howard, the #2 qualifier here today. Leslie Horn, the #5 qualifier. Both cars running 477 cubic inch motors, one prepared by Par Race Engines for Chase Howard and one prepared by Gene Fulton for Leslie Horn. It's all come down to this, fans. Last race of the night right here. It's like Leslie Horn with a little starting line advantage right there. And he takes that starting line advantage and puts Chase Howard out here in the finals. So that's 2 runner-up in a row for Chase Howard.
Man, Ray, it was good. I never thought we'd be here. Tough competition today, as always. We struggled all day today. Transmission problems to start out, second round of qualifying. Went out there in the first round, had Marlin and was able to get by him. Car run pretty good then. We had a pretty good number with him, and then I forgot who ran after that, but then ended up running Kenneth in the semifinals, and I was able to get around Kenneth by, I went a 29, he went a 28, so I beat him, so that was a victory for me there. And then to come up and be running my buddy Chase They let me borrow his transmission. I was super excited for Chase to even be in the finals after his last race, where he wrecked his car, tore it all to pieces, and they worked so hard to get here. I talked to them a couple of times this week, didn't even think they was going to come. They was thinking about giving up, and for them to put forth the effort to come down here and race with us, and just, it would have been a win either way, but it feels a whole lot better than I won.
All right, so what did you do to transmission job that you had so many transmission issues?
Well, I hadn't really had many transmission issues this year. There was an engine at the other place. Yeah, and then the transmission, that's the first G-force that I've had that has broke on me in 4 seasons. It's the first one I've broke, G-force. So that's strong. I can't say enough for Roby. Brian works on the transmissions now with Roby, and Roby at G-force, I can't imagine even running a different transmission.
So who do you want to thank for helping put you here?
We got to thank Brian, Robin, Logan, my son's here, Carburetor Bob, Rex. I mean, everybody's here that's helped me. I mean, they changed the transmission. Wayne was here earlier. They changed the transmission in like, I don't know, 15 minutes. And I didn't even have my transmission, so it went right in. And I mean, I never thought I would be here, right? I really didn't. You know, if you'd have asked me after first round, I thought I was almost done. And but like I say, to get around Kenneth as close as that was, 0.011, I didn't even know I won. I even went and crossed the scales, and he was behind me, and I had to open the door and ask the spine tingler. I said, "Did I win?" And they said, "Yeah, you won." I said, "All right." So, and then when we got out of the car, I went down there to talk to him, and I said, "I didn't know if I won or not." He said, "Well, I thought I'd won too." I said, "Well, you remember Ringo, Georgia? I thought I won also. There you go. I paid you one back."
Last thing I want to ask you, can you say something about how we literally had every season today?
Yes.
And everybody rode it with ease.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Well, what is it about just this group of people that they're just in it?
Yeah. Well, this group of people, you don't find nobody no better than this. It's just like I told you, Chase, let me borrow his transmission. And then on top of that, you know, look at Mother Nature, what they done to us. There wasn't even a chance of rain in the sky, you know, and all of a sudden it's done rain. And every time we pulled the A-gas cars up here, it rained. I mean, I was like, are you kidding me? And didn't even know if we was gonna get it in. But the people here at K-Town done an excellent job. Wes, Christy, the whole crew, just super excited that we're here, super excited we're coming back here for a second race this year. I'm looking forward to it.
Congratulations, Leslie, on that huge win. That'll do it for us at the Molly Motorsports Nationals at Knoxville Dragway for the Southeast Gassers Association. I want to thank you, our fans, our sponsors, and our crew, everyone who makes this possible. Join us next time from Union, South Carolina for the Southeast Gassers and Powertube TV. I'm Mike Narks. See you soon.